What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Sports. As always, I'm your host, Harrison Van Tilburg. To the left of me, our boy John Witt. And across and all the way behind the scenes, doing all the technical stuff that we appreciate, Ryan Schmitty. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us for another episode. YouTube, if you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you check us out on YouTube. And then YouTube, if you're listening to us on YouTube, make sure you check us out on Spotify. We're on both, Coast to Coast Sports Pod, talk show, all that jazz. Talking all things sports, doing all that jazz, and everything else with it. I said jazz way more times than I wanted to. I'm just going to keep it an absolute stack.
Shout out Utah.
Shout out Utah Jazz. Hopefully Donovan Mitchell comes to the Heat. Will we talk about the day?
Or the Cavs, you know.
Oh, actually, yeah. I think the Cavs could actually do a really good trade package. Colin Sexton.
They can have him.
Maybe Kevin Love and a couple draft picks. You'd miss him, but you wouldn't. You'd much rather have Donovan Mitchell. Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Making sure. Do you have the quote? Do you want me to have the quote?
You can do the quote.
God damn it, John. All right, you do you stall while I find another quote again.
Shout out college football.
Wait, do we have anything coming up? We fucked up on the Field of Dreams. We should have done a Field of Dreams quote. Do we have anything other than
college football is coming up. I think that's about it.
Is there any college football quotes?
Oh,
here, I got one.
Shout out the Gipper.
I will do the quote of the day. Bo Schembechler, top 10 coach, Harrison Van Tilburg. College football history, Harrison Van Tilburg. That's the quote of the day. We can argue about that all we want. We actually did for maybe 25 minutes, 30 minutes before this podcast started. That's the reason we're starting so late. We had several arguments before this off screen. I wish Ryan kind of recorded because that'd have been clown.
Can I give a quote?
No, I just gave one. You can give your quote next week.
Okay.
Fine, what's your quote?
Bo Schembechler, probably top 10. I just have to think about it first.
Who said it?
John Witt.
John Witt. Okay, cool. And then Ryan, do you have anything to say to people before we get started?
The fact that we're starting really fucking late.
Yeah, we're really starting fucking late because we were having heated arguments.
It's cool though.
We were also reminiscing. We talked about high school sports, all that stuff. You know, all the jazz. And you got anything to say before we start?
Shout out Kirby Smart was the highest paid coach of college football for 33 days.
33 days, and we will get into that later.
Shout out Hunter Clanton too.
Hunter Clanton.
Come on the pod.
Hey, come on the pod. We miss you. Shout out AJ Hawk. I refereed your son's game.
You did. How was that?
Hey, his son scored a goal. They lost a nail biter 4-2. The better team won.
Scored a goal on you?
I wish. And I'd be like, oh my God, AJ, I let your kid score. Like, come on the pod.
Talk about the pussification of America.
Right.
AJ Hawk's son is playing soccer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. You know why? Because AJ's like, look, dude, I can't remember what you said to me 2 days ago. You're playing soccer.
How old is his
all-time Packers leading tackler, AJ Hawk.
Is he really?
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out AJ Hawk.
Shout out AJ. Well, the thing is, like, it has to be a linebacker. Those guys are involved in every play. Like, my brother was like, Reggie White. I was like, he's the end. If they run the opposite way, you can't get much help. But yeah, I mean, he played for a long time. Played for the Bengals for like a year.
He did. I remember that.
Never used Toradol. Shout out AJ Hawk. He's a real man's man. But
I just wouldn't say AJ Hawk. You think Packers, you think just older people.
Yeah, I mean Reggie. I mean Clay Matthews ain't no joke.
Yeah,
he's been there for a little bit. USC.
Yes.
USC Clay Matthews.
He was. Shout out to other conversations we were having before the podcast.
Pete Carroll
guy.
Yeah, Pete Carroll guy. But let's get right into it. Just a little preview of what we're talking about today. We got the media poll of Coast to Coast Sports is being released. Clap it up for that. Our first week one. We will let you know what those are as we get into it. Doing some college game preview. John's going to do us a little college game preview of what's coming up this week. My Huskers are playing. That's all I know. That's all I care about. Game. Up in Dublin, I would Irish jig, but you can't see my legs. We're going to do some baseball talk. We're going to talk about the pick'ems and what that kind of entails for us, and those are back. And then we got Ryan's 2-minute drill. So we got a pretty compact session today, and we'll knock them all out as we go. Also, live game to the right of me, Astros playing Twins. So shout out the Guardians. You guys are up 3 games now.
3.5.
3.5 games. If this holds, does that bump it to 4 or no?
That'll bump it to 4. Let me look at the White
Guards
Sox.
beat the Pods. Guards beat the Pods
7-0.
today, 7-0. So that's helping them. And the Astros are currently beating the Twins 5-1 in the 7.
So it looks like the White Sox will win. So if the Astros hold on against the Twins and the Sox will be tied for 4 games and a half behind Cleveland.
Okay, so hey, that's
even 4 games.
4 games. So that even better. So we'll keep you tapped in on that. We've got a little bit of live update and all that jazz. Chaz McCormick appears to have hurt his wrist. But let's get into our media poll, John. I know you're pretty excited about this. We have several voters that are on this, unbiased, of course.
Yes.
And we'll kind of we averaged them out, so we didn't just go like, oh, this is, John didn't just make his top 25 and just pick them. I didn't make my top 25 and just pick them, especially because my top 25 wouldn't reflect this necessarily in Ryan. So we've got some votes. We averaged them out, and this is what it looks like. Ryan, can the people see it?
Yeah.
All right, so just cranking out the top four.
No, try and stand up like this.
Yeah.
You're head glitching the thing right now. So.
Am I too low?
No, you're good. Right where you are.
So I got to stop doing this.
No, you need to. You're good here.
I'm good here.
You're good. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk later. I don't know what that meant, so that confused me.
I was saying you're head glitching, so like
He's saying, yeah.
Oh,
just don't go down.
So here's our top four of the Coast to Coast Week 1. Well, not Week 1, preseason. Preseason AP media poll, because we are a media outlet. In case you forgot. We have Ohio State number 1, Alabama number 2, 3 Georgia, 4 Utah, and 5 Notre Dame, and Texas A&M at 6. Those are our first 4 in, first 2 out. I kind of like those. I think those are kind of good picks. I have some question marks about number 1 and number 5 personally. My votes do reflect that personally, but this is what we averaged out. Then going from the rest of the top 10, we go Michigan at 7, Clemson at 8, Michigan State number 9, number 10 NC State. Go Huskies?
Wolfpack.
You're so right. And then 11 through 15 Oregon, 12 Baylor, USC 13, 14 Oklahoma State, 15, 16 through 20 is going to be Miami Hurricanes, not Miami Oxford.
Correct.
Common mistake. Wisconsin Badgers at 17, Arkansas Razorbacks at 18, 19 Pittsburgh Panthers. And 20 Wildcats of Kentucky. Like, I got all those. Fuck yeah. Then 21 to 25, BYU, Ole Miss, Minnesota, Houston, and then rounding out the top 25 are Cincinnati Bearcats.
They're not mine.
They did not make John's top 25, but they made mine, so maybe that's where that's coming in. They made Ryan's as well, so that's some of the voters' opinions there. So those are our top 25. You can see them on the screen. Spotify, check out our YouTube if you want a little bit more a little more in depth of it and can see it better. Also, we'll be posting this to Twitter later tonight.
Yep. So peep it on Twitter.
You'll peep that on Twitter as well. So I kind of read that out for the Spotify users so they could hear along with us. But that's what we have. Initial thoughts of the media poll, how it averaged out. John, I feel like you got to be pretty happy. Ryan, you got to be pretty happy. I know you both were high on Ohio State at number 1. I was not so much.
I mean, you still had him at 2. I mean, let's not pretend like you had him low.
Yeah, no, I wanted them lower, but like honestly, I think that's where they'll end up. I don't think that's where they belong. To me, I think Ohio State, and I'll just go first, kind of get my defense out. The reason I don't think that Ohio State should have been that high is not necessarily, I think they'll end that way because I think there's going to be a lot of high hope for Ohio State's defense this year, and offense obviously is, not up for debate. But the reason I don't want them that high, I was thinking more like that fringe 6-7 spot, kind of in there, just out of the top, just in the first 2 out, maybe just outside that, because they lost the 2 best receivers in the nation. I understand Smith and Jigba Jr. is disgusting. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to be gross. Fleming's going to be gross. Those are probably all safe bets. If you're hitting like a money line, like that's like betting on the house to win. Like it's probably going to hit. We got a huge turnover on defense with a new coordinator, probably new schemes, new everything like that. And John's kind of tapped into a little bit more than the average Joe. And he says that there is some difference, stuff happening there. So I think Ohio State will end in the top 4, assuming they beat Michigan and, win the Big Ten title as well. Those are all obviously, what ifs, for certains. But they should. I just think, like, if I was in a preseason poll of what I do know about Ohio State is that they lost their 2 best receivers and their defense was awful last year. Maybe not awful, but not good to Ohio State's typical standard. And that is what I do know, and that's why I was thinking about dropping them, 5 or 6 below. But I didn't want my 1 vote of Ohio State being at like 8 skew to be like Ohio State being below Utah, because I think Ohio State's better than Utah, and I think Ohio State's better than Notre Dame. But I didn't want to like skew that whole process. So I did put them at 2 because I think they'll end in that top 4 area. But that's kind of why I wanted them to be a little lower.
I mean, if looking at Ohio State, I mean, everybody's pretty much in consensus that it's Ohio State and Alabama 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I had them at 1 is because most people are just putting Alabama at 1 just because. Alabama losing Jamison Williams, I think, is going to be a bigger blow than Ohio State losing Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, and I don't think it's close. Jamison Williams was by far Alabama's best offensive player last year, despite them having the Heisman Trophy winner. So we'll see how that goes. Alabama's defense is going to be really good. Again, you could put these in any order. That's why I put Ohio State at 1 because I'm biased.
And our votes. I mean, our vote didn't average out to it. It's not like we were just like, fuck it, whatever. But
yeah, so that's why I had him at 1, just to give them some credit. Also, Ohio State, I believe, is top 10 in returning starters. Not many people can say that. They return 8 starters on defense. You could say how bad they were last year, but again, new defensive coordinators. These guys are experienced. They're highly rated recruits. So I think we're good there. So, I mean, we'll see. I agree with our Notre Dame at 5. That's a little high for them, I think. But it's how it averaged out. That's fine. I think they're about A&M, Michigan, Clemson level. I think those can really go in any order until we see them on the field.
Yeah. I personally think our top 25 is really well-rounded. I know you're not a big fan of Cincy being in there. I was kind of pushing also for Iowa as well, just because they made the Big Ten championship last year. I don't think they lost so many people to where they're going to be. It's either, I think it's going to be between them. I guess Minnesota could be a sleeper team for that division, but to me, it's Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Iowa. Personally, I think that's who's going to be out of that division side.
I think you're lowballing your Huskers.
Trust me, I'm big on the Huskers. Just I need some time. We got we got new coordinators everywhere. We got new things working. So I'll be curious. I'm huge on the Huskers. See them play this week in Ireland. So we'll tap into that as well. But I know you're not big on Cincinnati. We're big on BYU. I can see BYU. Huh?
I don't know.
Ryan's not big on BYU.
Yeah, because I had BYU at about I believe 16 or 17, and you could see they're at 21 on the poll for a reason, Ryan.
Yeah.
No, you didn't even have them in your poll.
No, I think BYU could be a pretty solid team. Do I think they're going to finish top 10? Heavens no. 15?
I'm glad we're all in the same consensus about Wake Forest. Why the fuck are they in the AP or coaches?
To be fair,
John had them in his vote.
I forgot about Texas, and the reason they were so high is because they did have one of the better returning quarterbacks in Sam Hartman, but he is now not playing, unfortunately. Shout out Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
Get well soon.
Yes, sir.
He had a medical thing where he might not be able to play football ever again. So,
yeah.
But he was one of the better returning quarterbacks in a conference that's weak. I was cool with them being in the top 25 in the AP poll. They're not in the Coast2Coast poll for a reason because we are taking that into consideration. But I'm not mad at the AP poll for having the Demon Deacons in there.
Yeah, and also, another team I want to emphasize my question marks about is Texas A&M as well. I know everybody's really big on them with all the NIL deals and them getting a bunch of these stud players, transfer portal, all that shit. But the thing is, we just don't know about them. You can have all these transfer portals. Same thing with USC. Like, USC being 13 was another one. I think it's a good spot for them because it's like if they do turn out to be really good, which a lot of people are expecting them to be, then it's like, oh, okay, they were 13 to start the season. That's not crazy. But the thing is, USC was awful last year. They got a new coach. I'm assuming some new coordinators, new other people, coaches, positions, and they got a fuck ton of new players.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean that's not always a recipe for success. And you know that just as well as I know that. Teams are built within, not bought. That's in the NFL, and now that's with the transfer portal. Ohio State wide receiver room is good for a reason. You got the best recruiting coach and for wide receiver in his position, and also the best stars and the best players there. They're there for a reason, right? I think that Texas A&M having a bunch of new people coming in USC is kind of some question marks as well. But we'll see how those guys transfer out. We just wanted to give you viewers our first media preseason poll. We will give this to you every week on Wednesday. So it may not necessarily come. When does the AP poll come out? Does it come out Mondays?
Monday or Tuesday.
So we'll be a day later. Not necessarily to compare or anything. It's just that we record on Wednesdays. So.
Oh, no, they come out on Sunday. I'm stupid.
They do?
AP, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, so they come out on Sunday. It's not to compare. We just record on Wednesdays. We get all of our stats and we get all our opinion then, and then we go from there. So I feel like comparatively speaking, I feel like we didn't hit too far off of what everybody, the other quote-unquote media is. I feel like we got a lot of the same namesakes in there.
Except for Clemson.
Yeah.
I had Clemson really low. I didn't even have them top 10.
Yeah, I think you had them about 12 or 13. I do like some of the changes we made, though. I do like having Oklahoma and USC and Baylor a little lower than they are in the AP poll. Mm-hmm. I like having Utah higher. I like BYU being a little higher.
Mm-hmm. Utah returning a lot of people?
Utah does.
I think they lost.
I feel like Utah could be like playoff potential this year if they played anything like they played Ohio State last year. Ohio State defense fucking sucked, but that offense is fucking disgusting.
And they have a really good chance of winning their conference. They should. I think personally, if a lot of people are playing the safe bet, is betting on Utah to win the Pac-12. USC would be the sleeper pick just because of all the new shit.
Well, I think USC is the favorite in terms of like how sportsbook is happening.
Yeah, how it's going to happen. But I think if you were a betting man and you were an educated man, you'd probably say Utah over USC.
Well,
but
someone in this room did that.
Someone really intelligent.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, I would say it's not me. It's not me.
You're intelligent.
I'm intelligent.
Give yourself some credit.
I'll give myself some credit about other things, but
okay.
I think we kind of hit the nail on the head here. I think we gave ourselves a really good poll. And it'll be really fun to see, in when's the season end? When do we count the season? Like, when did the AP poll stop? Does it stop after the national championship, right?
No, because they have a postseason AP poll.
Well, so I don't want to count that one. That's kind of fucking lame.
The last
it's going to be like, number one's going to be whoever won the national title.
The last week before the playoffs and all the bowl games is the first week in December.
All right, so let's do that one.
Conference championship week is December.
All right, so we'll count. It would be fun to see, once December rolls around, what our preseason poll looked like to the last poll of the year, and I think it'd be cool. I'm hoping. What if we get it fucking perfect, exactly right? I mean, I think that means we should probably get an Emmy, right?
I think it's gonna be pretty.
Something.
We should. I think it's gonna be pretty hard to do that. I think it's near impossible.
It probably is near impossible, but it'd be really fucking cool if it was.
Something tells me Alabama and Georgia will not be 2-3 and rematching after the SEC championship game.
Yeah, that should have happened last year and it didn't, but it is what it is.
It should not have.
You don't think Michigan should have been the one?
I think, however they would have done it, they should have made it so it wasn't a rematch again, and they didn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair, but I just don't think they were going to drop Alabama to 4 or whatever. And I mean, Michigan,
Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia.
Alabama.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Georgia to 4. But I think, Michigan beat Iowa by 39.
Iowa was sucked last year. You're giving Iowa too much credit.
I'm not giving them too much credit. I don't think they're a top 10. I had Iowa at 25 on my poll.
I don't even think they're ranked for the Big Ten championship game.
No, they definitely
were. Are you sure?
Yeah, they definitely were. They might not have been like 6, but they were definitely ranked. It's hard to not be ranked and be in your conference championship, I feel like.
They might have found a way, dude.
We'll see. Let's find out. John's giving us a little live tap in update of what they were ranked. But I feel like this will be a fun little thing to look at, and I like the way our preseason poll is, and I think that it'll kind of really reflect. Oh,
you're right. They're 23.
Bastards.
I can guarantee you they weren't ranked afterwards.
God no. Well, why would they be? Hopefully that kind of reflects what it looks like at the end of the year, and we'll keep you tapped in, and we'll definitely be posting this later to Twitter. So make sure you peep that out, interact with it, give us your top 25 if you want to go through all the effort, or give us what you like and what you don't like. So make sure you do that as well. And let's move on to the next part of our segment, college game previews of which ones we like, which we don't like. I mean, we don't have a ton this week. We just have some interesting ones more than anything. But before we get there, let's talk to our first sponsor, Pete Abilities. They are the best in industry street food that you can get on a food truck ever. And John, I don't think I'm too crazy in saying that. Do you think I'm crazy in saying that?
Not at all. No.
Not even a little bit. They have anything you could want and more. You got chicken gyros. Not gyros. You got chicken pitas. You got gyro pitas. You got falafel pitas. If you don't want that, you don't want a little sandwich, they got salad options and they got fry options. Have you ever put gyro meat on fries, John? It will change your life. The homemade Bella sauce is nothing but exceptional, and they have all the drinks that you can want and anything else that you can think of and imagine. They will make it happen for you. They got rice bowls as well. Pete Abilities is the place to be and the place to check out. Go to their website, check them out, see where the food trucks are at for the day. Or I know you're more of a brick and mortar guy and you want to sit down and eat your lunch.
I am, yeah.
Yes. So I don't know if you know this, John. They have a brick and mortar store in Crooked Can. It is a facility in Old Hilliard, Ohio. Make sure you check them out as well. They've got seating. They've got some beers. Get a beer while you're there, too. Maybe it's a lunch break beer. I don't think those are legal. Or maybe your work might frown upon that. But if your work doesn't, get a lunch break beer. That's all I'm saying.
Why not?
But check out Pete Abilities. Check out our friends there. Tell them that we sent them. We love them. They're great to be with us, and we appreciate their sponsors so much. But John, why don't you, before we let you go, why don't you give us your favorite thing to get from Pita Abilities? What do you fancy? Do you fancy that buffalo chicken pita with all the works? Because my favorite is the rice bowl with chicken, and I'm a huge fan of the teriyaki chicken in the rice bowl with the greens and everything, and the Bella sauce to cap it off.
You got me with the buffalo chicken.
It's hard to beat.
I'm a big buffalo chicken guy. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good in those.
And you gotta love those. So check them out. Tell them that we sent them. And Ryan, you got anything favorite from Pita Abilities? No, you're not. You like the fry bowl, right? You're more the fry with the fry bowl with the euro.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. I can't remember the last time. All right. Don't expect me to memorize your order, Ryan.
Yeah.
But make sure you check those guys out. And tell them that we sent you. So moving on. College game previews. John, hit us with it.
So we don't have a lot to pick from here. Starting out in Dublin, Ireland, with the Huskers versus the Wildcats. I think it'll be a decent game. Nebraska's currently 13-point favorites, but I mean,
are we hitting over or under on that?
What is the over under?
Well, the 13, right?
Or well, that's
what I'm saying. Are we hitting that?
Oh,
or we think is it gonna be more than 13 or less than 13?
I think the Huskers can win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
The only thing is, I mean, I don't deny the consistency of Pat Fitzgerald and the Wildcats.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see them covering. I do think this will be the over under is 49.5. I do think the under hits.
Okay.
In this game.
All right, perfect. I also think the under hits. I also think the under for the point differential is. I feel like anytime you see it in the NFL, anytime they play these European games, it's not good football. And I don't know if that's because they're playing like on a soccer field, in a stadium, the time zone, the jet lag, all that included, I think kind of plays a factor in it. Does it play a huge factor in it? I don't know. I'm just saying if professional athletes can't play the best, I'm not going to expect necessarily college kids to play the best too. And maybe the defense lapses, right? Maybe it's a defensive thing where it's going to be 65-60, and maybe that is spread cover. But I'm going to hit the under on both of those.
This should have been our quote of the week. Did you see Scott Frost's quote about the Nebraska Cornhuskers?
No, I did not.
He said their offensive line is puking 12.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they're not conditioned. So I think the under is going to hit there.
Yeah, it might be.
Their offensive line can't go practice without
puking. They can't keep it down.
They can't keep it down.
But hopefully they keep the score down. No, the offensive line? Yeah. Keep the score up, I guess.
Move on.
Yeah, that's what But
let's move on.
Next college game day preview that you're kind of looking forward to.
The next one, there's really not a lot to pick from, so we're gonna go with the next game, including a Power 5 team, will be the Wyoming Cowboys taking on the Illinois Fighting Illini in Champaign, Illinois.
Hey, huge fan of that. I like that game.
Illinois is 11-point favorites.
I would take that and run away with it as well. I don't think Illinois is very good this year, and they won't be, but I would definitely take the 11-point favorite.
I will as well. I do think Illinois will cover 11 points.
Are we taking the under? What's the point total?
44. I think the over hits.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking the over. I do think Wyoming is, in years past, they've had, I don't know much about them this year, but I do know in years past their offense has been okay. I can see Illinois giving up some points to them. I can see Illinois scoring more than 20 points.
Right.
I'll take the over.
Ryan, what do you think? Illinois or the Cowboys or Wyoming? Give you the Illini?
Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Illinois.
Give you the line. Give me the low line. And then any other games to wrap us up here that we should be looking out for?
The next one, I'm going to go out to Honolulu, Hawaii for the Vanderbilt Commodores taking on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Anchor down.
Is this it?
Yeah. Anchor down.
That's all I got to say about that.
Spotify listeners are going to hate
Spotify is going to hate that, but that's all that matters. What's the point spread there?
It's looking like the Vanderbilt Commodores are actually favored by 8 points out in Hawaii.
Ooh. I don't know. I think I'm going to take the opposite of that. Going all the way to Hawaii? Actually, correct pronunciation. Hawaii. That's a big time zone. Vanderbilt, East Coast. Hawaii, very, very far West Coast. Maybe not even, they're not even West Coast. They're Pacific?
They're Pacific.
Yeah. So.
They're out there, dude.
They're out there. So, I don't know. That'll be an interesting game. And it's climate. I mean, it's gonna be humid there. It's gonna be hot, and maybe these waves that I'm seeing out there in Hawaii might fucking just spill into the stadium. Yeah. I don't know. So
I don't know.
Maybe they'll be too focused on the beaches. Maybe they'll be too focused, think like a vacation. And they're gonna lax.
Maybe.
So I think I might take Hawaii on both of those.
Sir, I am with you.
Yes, John.
I'm taking Hawaii money line.
Are we gonna look at the UConn-Utah State game with Utah State being favored at 26.5?
We'll get there, buddy.
Well, hey, John, this is John's segment. You fucking dickhead.
He said that was the last game.
I did say it was my last.
John, you forgot UConn.
Look, shout out my Huskies.
Shout out the Huskers.
But back to the vein of
Utah State's supposed to be like
decent.
They
were decent last year. I think they were like 25 a couple times. Top 25.
They're one of the more underrated Mountain West teams. Undervalued. Vanderbilt got rid of that star logo.
Yeah,
they changed
new
it
logo,
up.
dog shit.
I think that's a reason why they've lost their identity. Their logo was the only thing they had going for them.
Yeah.
You have to travel out to Hawaii. Vanderbilt's just a dog shit football program.
Mm-hmm.
+8. I'm definitely taking the +8 there.
You have to. And then let's get us to our final last game.
Oh shit! The UConn
Huskies versus Utah State.
If
If this was basketball, I'm taking UConn. But guess what? This is football, John.
Yeah.
Are we hitting the -26?
I'm hitting the -26. UConn. I don't know if they won a game last year.
Look, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm taking not the -26. I'm going opposite. It's the first game of the year. Everybody's got to knock the rust off. Right now, that could be a reason to, it's definitely gonna hit. But I'm thinking that there's no way that they're both gonna fire all cylinders on defense and offense. I'm taking the under.
I think you are undervaluing the prowess of the Utah State Aggies.
I don't think I'm undervaluing them at all. I'm
They
just saying.
They might be the best Aggies in the country.
Whoa. Texas A&M Nation.
Ryan, come on. Are you with me?
Ryan, are you with him? Say no.
the Aggies, bro.
They're the
You
Aggies,
fucking
dude.
suck, Ryan. I hate you. You can't even see straight without your glasses. How's that?
Hailing from Logan, Utah.
Utah. Logan County, Ohio. Shout out OU. That's Logan.
I don't know what county.
That's all right. Whatever. So that kind of wraps up the college picks. We'll give you some more of those as the weeks go on.
Again, terrible week. Terrible week for college football.
For sure.
It's college football, so.
For sure, terrible week. But let's get into some baseball. I know we've talked some baseball pretty hard these past couple weeks. But let's just give some insight to it. I think one pressing thing is that the Yankees are still cold. The Mets have cooled off, and the Braves are hot.
Braves are hot. Let me tell you about the Braves.
The Braves are hot. I think they took 3 or 4 from New York from the Mets, I believe. John, double check me on that when you get a second.
I saw the stat someone tweeted. I'll read you the stat here in a second.
And I know that Fernando Tatis, after being suspended for the PEDs and the ringworm and shit, which I think I'm actually on the side of now that it came out that he is getting shoulder surgery. So I think it's kind of a twofer. Yeah, you get suspended. It's like, well, I might as well get something done that I needed to get done. He opted against it. But I genuinely might believe this whole point of he wasn't using it to beat ringworm. He was actually using it to maybe just be able to get back and get healthy for the season. And he was rushing. Because steroids, a lot of people don't know, your recovery is so much better. Everybody thinks you just get jacked muscles and all that stuff. No, you can work out 2 or 3 times a day because you're taking it. And that's when the jacked muscles follow. So I think that's another reason, that's something to bring up. Walker Buehler, I know we mentioned him last week about his injury. It was kind of uncertain what it was. He came out and finally said it was Tommy John's. It'll be his second time having Tommy John's. And typically those rehab and recovery take way longer. So he's probably honestly going to be out all of 2023 season, which sucks because he's definitely a huge cog in that Dodgers thing. So basically what I'm saying now is Bobby Miller, NL Rookie of the Year next year. Just peep it. You heard it here first. That's all I'm saying.
I'll look at the odds, but I mean
he's got to be moved up here, right?
Got to be a safe pick.
Yeah, he's got to be getting up. But I'm assuming you'll get a call from him here shortly. So John, what do you got?
So I got the stats on the Braves. So the Braves are 14-6 in their last 20.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-5 against the Mets. So they losing record, but they're 10-1 against everyone else.
Yeah.
Well,
their record against the Mets has been the entire season, right?
This is in the last 20 games. So in the last 20 games, they've played the Mets 6 times. And they're 4-5.
Okay. So that's pretty good.
10-1 against everyone else.
Yeah. Okay.
So the Mets are accounting for 5 of their 6 losses in the last 20 games.
So, that kind of, keeps that in perspective. Those are probably going to be two NL teams that are probably going to face off in the playoffs.
Depends on how the seeding.
I mean, Mets would be the 1 seed currently, right? How many games back?
Dodgers.
1.5. 2 seed.
Yeah,
2
Dodgers.
seed. But that means that the Mets will then play Atlanta of Philly, right?
So.
Or no, it'd be Atlanta
You're right. In the second round, chances are, because how the wild card is going.
Yeah, it'd be Atlanta and
it'll be whoever doesn't win the East against
Atlanta and St. Louis.
Against Philadelphia right now.
Well, wouldn't Atlanta play? I guess it's the worst. They have the better record. So it'd be Atlanta versus St. Louis, and then it'd be Philly versus Padres.
Oh no! It'll be San Diego versus St. Louis, and who to play the Mets, Atlanta and Philly to play the Dodgers. I messed that up. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah, because it'll be 3 seed, 6 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed. The 1 seed won't play the 3 seed.
Oh yeah, don't they just recalibrate it after whoever wins the worst seed?
That's what they used to do.
Okay.
It's just because then San Diego would have a chance to play the Dodgers, and that's not happening.
That's gonna happen, right? Yeah. Okay. So I mean, we can still see them playing off in the playoffs. Obviously, it might be
it'd be in the
if the season ended today, it would have to be in the NLCS. But anything can happen. Who knows? The Braves might take over Mets. They're only 1.5 games back, and anything can happen.
I think they're going to.
I do too. I can see it happening. The Mets are kind of wavering. I'm not saying wavering, but they don't look. Their offense doesn't seem to be clicking as much. Their defense is kind of helping them out with pitching. Obviously, you have DeGrom, Scherzer. They're great. I know Walker got beat up a little bit last night by the Yankees, but it was also at Yankee Stadium, which is kind of a joke park to play in anyway.
The Mets also play a way tougher schedule than the Braves too.
Uh-huh.
And I know Braves fans are going to overreact because they have an inferiority complex.
Yeah.
To the
you just won the World Series. You have a good team.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Mets. The Mets have the inferiority complex. And
I'm sorry.
This is more about how good the Braves are, not the Mets collapsing.
Yeah.
It's just how the cookie crumbled this year.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the Mets are still a good team. They're probably going to be a tough team to beat, especially when you have Scherzer, DeGrom, Walker, Cookie's there still, and who's the fuck's their other guy? I'm missing one.
I don't know.
Shit. Well, regardless, they're going to be a tough team to beat, especially when you have Scherzer and DeGrom. That's going to be a tough. I mean, it's a 3-game series. If you have those guys 1-2, that's a tough out right there.
Yep.
So we'll keep those guys in. Astros still leading the AL in best win record. Yankees are 2. Currently, score update: 2 people on in the top of the 9th for the Twins, 0 outs. Rafael Montero has been a dumpster fire late for the Astros.
So tying runs at the plate.
Tying run is at the plate. I'd prefer him just to get out of the jam. He's been bad these past couple stretches for us.
He can let up 2 runs, just win the game.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Just win the game. But that's kind of where that's standing at. Nothing else is pretty crazy. The standings are still the same. You still have 2 teams from the AL East, and then now you have a new team that might be sneaking up on everybody is Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they can get in. I'm really, really rooting for them to get in. I think it'd be awesome to see them get in over Seattle, mainly because I don't like Seattle and I think they're incredibly overrated. Or Toronto. They're 13 games back from the Astros. They are not. Every time they play the Astros, we work them. It's just I think they're overrated.
No, I'm just appreciating your hot take. That was my ooh.
Oh, I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate your time. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Talking about some other. That's a fuck.
Oh, dude. Is Altuve washed? Next on Coast2Coast Sports.
That was a great stop. Did you see this shit?
It was pretty.
I mean, that was almost a double play ball, but
it wasn't.
Well, yeah, it really wasn't. They actually scored a run off of it.
Unfortunate.
But the one thing I kind of also want to talk about is some of the trade deadlines that have paid off and not paid off. I know we're not, the craziest, furthest in the season from the trade deadline, all that stuff. So a lot of these trades will pay off maybe in the end. Trey Mancini, Vasquez paying off for the Astros pretty well right now.
For sure.
That's kind of given. Will Smith, kind of wishy-washy on me personally. He hasn't been the best, but we haven't really used him a whole lot in high-leverage situations. I'm hoping that Blake Taylor comes back and helps us out there a little bit. But that's a double play ball.
You got that, right?
Yeah. Well, either way, yeah, he had to have. It'd been cool if he would have dropped it and then made that guy, sidestep. But we got 2 outs there, so that's good. Yeah, triple play. Josh Hader to the Padres has been dog shit. You go from best closer, arguably with him and Diaz, to now worst with an ERA of 16 since joining the Padres. If you're a Brewers fan, you have to be feeling you won this deal. You don't have to pay Josh at the end of the year. You don't have to do that. And you also got 4 great players back.
Yeah.
Quality guys back. I think that's an absolutely insane statistic just to read, especially because Josh Hader is still very good.
Yeah.
Second would be Montgomery for Jordan Montgomery for St. Louis. Since joining St. Louis, 4-0, had a complete game, has an ERA of 0.36, and hasn't lost a game yet. So he's balling for St. Louis. And then now you look at the Yankees, who are struggling to find wins right now. I mean, what's the Yankees in the last 10?
4-6.
4-6, not looking great. So they're not bad. They are powering first half of the season is definitely helping them here, but it is just one of those things where it's like, holy shit, some of these trades are panning out. Juan Soto's playing pretty good for the Padres, so he's panning out a little bit. Josh Bell, not the worst Padre. He's not the best either. He's doing just his job, what you would expect. Other than that, those are some of the trade guys that I feel like are just kind of, just okay. I feel like that's kind of it.
If we're talking teams here, I think one of the teams, I mean, we're looking at them right now.
Yeah,
I think the
Twins.
Minnesota Twins were a buyer, and I believe they were either tied or like a half game above or behind Cleveland at the time. And
They were a game and a half, I think. I think they're 1.5.
Yeah, and now we're seeing them just kind of collapse here. They've lost 4 straight. Looks like they're about to lose again. Cleveland is getting a little hot right now. Jose hit 2 home runs today. Jose looks like he's starting to get back to his
Normal self.
First half self this year.
Yeah.
Because he was he
was leading the RBI chain. I think he was leading RBI and extra base hits.
And he sizzled down a little bit in recent last month and a half, but he's really been kicking it here today and yesterday. So maybe he's coming back. I think Seattle's a winner. I think Luis Castillo. I think he's been a great piece for Seattle. When he's pitched, he's been one of the best pitchers in the entire American League.
And NL, too.
And in the NL.
When he was in there for the first half, he was definitely one of the best NL pitchers.
Yeah, so I think Seattle, especially in these 3-game series that are going to come up, because if they make the playoffs, that's what they're going to have to play. They're not beating the Astros in the West. So I think that's one win right there. So I think Seattle is a winner.
That'd have been cool.
No,
I definitely think so too. I think that some of Seattle's paying off. I think more the rest of that I'm more disappointed with Seattle is more or less just how their overall team's playing.
Yeah.
I think you just expected them to be a little bit better than what they are, and they aren't. So, and another team I like to mention is Frankie Montas has not looked very good for the Yankees at all. I think he hasn't recorded a win yet, and his ERA is pretty high too. I think like a 4, maybe 3 since joining the Yankees. So those are some of the little quick takeaways. Obviously, that shit can change. White Sox are picking up steam here, too. So, they weren't really much of a buyer or a seller at the deadline. I think they added maybe a couple pieces, if I'm, remembering correctly. They got Ellis Andrew from the A's, so they picked him up. So, I think it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season kind of plays out, and we'll definitely keep you guys tapped in on that. Before we move on to the next segment, which will be the picks are back, and then we also have the 2-minute drill. But let's talk about our last sponsor, National Road Golf Course. If you're looking for an intermediate level golf course, National Road Golf Course is the place to be, off of Route 40, just outside of West Jefferson, Ohio. Sorry, we had to break up the...
Your Cleveland Indians are now 4 games up on the Minnesota Twins.
Cleveland Guardians.
Shit.
The Cleveland Guardians now moving up. Astros just beat the Twins 5-3. Rocky finish there for Rafael Montero. But regardless, shout out to the Guardian fans that still hate the Astros. You're probably rooting for the Astros at this point right now. But
the Astros.
Sorry we messed up that ad read. Let's try that again. If you're an intermediate golfer looking for a course to get started on or just to sharpen some of your game, check out National Road Golf Course off Route 40 in West Jefferson, Ohio. They've got your full driving range. They've got what, John, on the inside?
Oh, let me tell you about those fucking simulators.
John, tell me about those simulators.
Look, I'm not a good golfer. You know that. The world knows this.
We know it.
But when I'm on those simulators, I feel like I'm not wasting people's time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not keeping the people behind me waiting, and I can test out my swing. I can use different clubs in different places, and I can set up situations that help me become a better golfer.
Right, and I totally agree, and I echo that wholeheartedly. And if you want to go outside, they got that full driving range, like I mentioned. They got chipping and putting green. And if you just want to go ahead and hit the links, super open course, no sand traps, only one water, and you have some trees and some stuff to play around as well. But it's a link style course, so it's going to play definitely more friendly to finding your ball and being able to play, stuff. Smaller greens, so you got to have good chipping and putting. But outside of that, still a good intermediate level course to start yourself out on. And if you don't believe me, ask us. We're not good golfers. We love golfing there. It's a good time. Keeps our motivation to get better going and doesn't completely defeat us. So make sure you check out National Road Golf Course. Make sure you tell them that we sent you, and we appreciate them for sponsoring this part of this next part of the podcast. So John, I don't know if you've heard.
Yes.
You're tapped in.
I'm always tapped in.
Ryan, are you tapped in?
I think so.
Ryan, have you heard?
I think I've heard.
John, have you heard? Should we tell?
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word, but should we tell them what's back?
Tell them.
Do you want to tell me? You want me to tell?
You tell them.
Guys, the picks are back. You heard it right. The Pick'ems is back. The Pick'ems is back. John, what is back?
The Pick'ems are back.
The Pick'ems are back. Ryan, what is back?
The Pick'ems!
The Pick'ems are back. You heard it here first, folks. Who was our winner last week? I know last year it was between you two, right? Last season.
I won by
You
a
won.
single game.
Yeah.
John won by a singular
Like that last week,
game.
me and John just kind of threw some games out there.
To try and
We both-
take over.
Like, you and Eric, I think, had, like, the better records for that last week.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
and John, like, if I was going one game, he was going, it was something like that.
Yeah. And I wasn't too far behind.
No, yeah.
I think I was dog shit.
There was a time where you were close, but
Oh yeah, no. I think I was like, I think I ended up being like 8 games back,
You-
8 or 10 games back.
I
Which
mean,
I would need. Like,
I got
do you
the-
have it? Do you have it? Pull it up, Dad. Pull it up, Dad.
you were
48.
6 games above 500, and we were like,
Oh, so like I said, 10
so
games.
you were 9 games.
Yeah, so I was
9
just
games
under
back.
9 games. Wait, does that say you guys tied?
Or well, so this is going into the last week. So going into the last week,
Oh,
because
however,
I won one more game than Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, so I could be less than 9 games.
Our last
There.
week was with Gus. Shout out Gus.
Yes, Gus was our last week because we had a Will do it as well. So whatever those picked out to be, I could have ended better. I was around that 9 to 8 games back. Kind of fell off there with some of my wild NBA picks and all that jazz, but it happens.
It happens.
It happens. So the pick'ems are back. We'll keep you guys updated with those and what games we're telling you to look out for, what games we want to pick on. College football starting, so a lot of that's going to be college football. MLS is getting down to the playoff scenarios. WNBA is wrapping up, so we probably won't do any of those pick'ems.
I'm sure it'll be very NFL and college football.
NFL will be definitely more of a strong point as well. NBA season will be starting as well, so we'll probably do a couple pick'ems there. Same thing with NHL. But the pick'ems is back, and I don't know about you guys. I'm stoked. I know John is our resident crown winner, so I'll let you speak last.
Okay.
I came in third out of these 3 here, so I'm just gonna say I feel hope for a new season. I'm feeling good about my picks. I'm more tapped into baseball. I'm more tapped into basketball, and I'm more focused. I'm recalibrating, and I'm refocused of what's coming.
You think you can stay afloat while John and I go on these massive streaks with our college football picks?
I don't know if you know this, but I believe I was in the middle of talking. I was going to give you the 4 next.
It's
so
true, he
instead
was.
of you being a dickhead and rubbing it in,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to pick well against college football. I mean, college sports necessarily aren't my thing as much as they are for like professional sports, but I'm going to be tapped in. I'm huge on the Huskies. And by Huskers, I meant not Huskies. I'm also huge on the Huskies. I'm big on NC State. They're a Wolfpack. That's kind of a Husky, right?
Close enough, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not technically. They're Huskies is UConn and
UConn. There's another Washington.
yeah, Washington. Washington.
Washington
No, I was gonna say
Huskies, yeah.
Washington State, but I was like, that's not right. They're the
Cougars.
Cougars, yeah. So I'm gonna be tapped in. I'm gonna be focused. I'm gonna recalibrate. I think I'm hopeful that I'm predicting now top 2 finish. Predicting now top 2, maybe 1, maybe 2. We'll see. Ryan, do you have anything to say to people? You finished second, so you go second. Yeah, go ahead, say some shit. Go ahead, say some shit, you pussy.
You don't want me to get tapped in baseball if you are, because then it'll be a blowout.
It's true.
Yeah, that's it. Go on, talk your shit. This is your chance.
I don't even know how I was even second when we did. We went through NFL, NHL.
Not even NFL. This is all.
This is all basketball,
Here,
baseball.
I'll go for the first one.
Basketball,
NFL
baseball,
games were not
soccer.
pick'ems last time.
Nope.
No.
We started with
We had
NBA.
college football.
No, we had
No, that was
college-
basketball.
We had college basketball. We even did women's basketball
Yeah, of course.
in our first one.
Actually, we were red hot in women's basketball. I don't.
You know what? No. We started out with the Super Bowl. That's what it was.
Yes.
We did start out.
We
with
did.
the Super Bowl.
No, we did some playoffs. We did like Rams,
Maybe.
Bengals. We talked about that, and then we did the pick'ems at the
Maybe
end.
we did.
So we did the NFL playoffs. So, do you have anything to talk your shit? Talk your shit. This is your time. You want. John's got next, so whatever you say is gonna be relevant because he fucking won.
I think.
Because you know the difference between a one game win like you did, a 1 pick'em win versus a 10 pick'em loss like me, or an 8 pick'em loss. Not a fucking thing. We both lost.
You ain't first. You're last.
We
brother.
both fucking lost. So what's up?
Uh,
What's up, bronze? I mean, what's up, silver? Bronze here. Talk your shit.
I think I'm just gonna come more prepared for the. What do you look like that?
I'm fucking looking at you because you were talking shit. You know I see you after this ends, right? Once we cut, I'm gonna see you in the streets. So talk your shit. Hurry up.
All right. Well, I know where you live.
Good. AJ Hawk's coming here. You think he's gonna have my back? I gave this kid a goal yesterday. But seriously, anything you got to say to people?
No, I'm excited.
Predicting anything? 1, 2, 3? Top 3
Where I'm
finish?
gonna place?
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have NFL in there, so I have no clue. I don't know.
I'm expecting. You know what? He's not here to defend himself, but I think Eric has a better finish this time.
You
I
think
think
Eric-
Eric might finish about like if you're right about us not doing NFL, because I thought I remembered us doing at least a couple.
We did
Might
the
have
po- we
just
did
been-
post-
no,
we just did post-
we
we
did.
Playoff, a lot easier for me to be like, okay, that one.
Yeah, of course.
We
And
did
like
lose
regular
this
season games, no clue.
And I feel like Eric's the most tapped in the NFL.
I don't know. I might be tapped in if I do this fantasy shit.
Hey, well, I'm gonna get to that, so don't worry about it. So will definitely have a better finish.
Because Will ended up being under 500, so I'm rooting for Will. I hope.
Also, shout out how late we are actually doing this. Your thing turned off.
Oh, it did? Yeah. Hey, shout it out. That just gives you a timestamp because we care. And then John, King, Crown, Gold. What do you got to say?
Look, I won last time. I'm gonna win this time.
Back to back.
Back to back. I'm calling it. This. I'm a basketball. Like I like the sport of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest NBA guy. Like I just don't watch it that. Like I like the NBA.
Of course.
I have nothing against the NBA. It's just definitely the sport I watch the least. I was in your guys' realm, and I still came out on top.
100%.
So, I'm in my realm with college football. NFL, I know good amount of NFL. Eric, I think, has me beat on NFL knowledge, but I definitely have him beat on college football knowledge.
Okay, so you're telling me it's gonna be a heavyweight. This run of college and NFL is gonna be kind of a smack between you two.
I'm just saying, don't sleep on Eric.
You're just discrediting Ryan and I. That's all right. No, talk your shit,
No,
John.
no,
Hey,
no.
you won for a reason. Talk your shit.
Look, I don't think it's going to be a competition at the end. I think it's still going to be me on top. I think I win by more games.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So, I'm in my realm now. I feel like football's easier to predict than basketball. Just because the favorites end up winning a lot more. So
We'll just keep.
and you play less games, so there's less of a day-to-day grind to consider in the. It's more week to week. So I'm feeling good. I
Feeling
think
froggy.
I think I'm looking good.
All right, man. Well, hey, talk your shit. You've earned the right to talk your shit. So let's just keep it at that, and then let's get to Ryan's 2-minute drill to wrap everything up. Ryan, are you ready for the 2-minute? I know you have another graph for us because I'm seeing something on the TV now. So I take it it's gonna talk about all things that is. By the way, can we talk about how awesome? Before we get to Ryan's 2-minute drill, I just want to wrap this up. The MLB came out with some fire news today.
What was that?
The MLB schedule was released for 2023 season. And everybody plays everybody. I am a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking awesome. It gives me more of a chance to see the Astros. Unfortunately, the Reds are at Houston next season, so I won't be able to see that. But the next year, I don't have to wait like 4 years now. I can wait every other year, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And Cincinnati's closer than...
Barely.
And still closer, damn it.
By like 10 minutes.
Closer. It's closer. But I think that'll be cool. And I also like the fact that everybody will play on Jackie Robinson Day Everybody will play on Roberto Clemente Day, and everybody will play opening day, right? Opening day, Jackie Robinson Day, Lou Gehrig Day, July 4th, Roberto Clemente, and then game 162. Everybody will be playing. So I think it's going to be a fun, action-packed for all those days. All 30 clubs playing at the same time, you can't beat that, right?
Yeah, no, those will be good days. I mean, I'm a little more of a traditionalist. It kind of sucks seeing less games interleague, but I mean, I do think it's a cool thing that if you're gonna play 162 teams and there's games and there's only 30 teams, you might as well be playing everybody.
Yeah, right. That's it. That's another reason. I mean, the bigger reason I like that more than anything, and maybe you can get behind this. I know you're a traditionalist. Is you get to go see players that are maybe not be there. Like it's cool to see O'Neal Cruz play for the Pirates right now if you're Cleveland because he might not be there when he comes in the cycle, and that would suck. Like assume he gets to trades to another team that won't be there for another 4 years, so you could never see this guy. Yeah. And it'll just be cool to see that kind of thing.
And this will bring, I think this strengthens the argument of having if the Montreal Expos do come back, having them in the AL.
We hope they come back,
because the reason why it's like every state that has two teams, one's in one league, one's in the other, to
do that,
to account for that.
Except for Houston.
Well, they were in the NL.
I'm just saying they're not anymore.
But they were at one point. For the vast majority of their existence they were in the NL. So that will account for. So now they won't have to account for that if everyone's playing everyone. So maybe we'll see them play the Blue Jays a little more.
That'll be fun. I'm rooting for it. So those are some good stuff. But Ryan, are you ready for us?
I am indeed.
What is this graphic I'm looking at? What are we talking about?
First, what are we talking about? Team USA.
Team USA baseball. Shout out. Go on. Talk to me, Daddy.
Get our countdown started. And all right, Team USA has its coaching staff for baseball. Thoughts on this?
I personally think the biggest advantage here is Andy Pettis, the pitching coach. John?
I fucking love Ken Griffey Jr. Good to see him around.
Ken Griffey seen as a hitting coach. That's awesome.
Maybe one of my top 10 favorite people.
I think we'll win. But that's just me. Go on.
So.
All right. Tatis Jr. Goes under the knife for shoulder surgery. Is this good or bad for long term for him?
I think it's great. I mean, especially if he's putting it off now that he's got the suspension. Better for the long term.
I mean, might as well do it now.
Right.
He's got
definitely not going to have this free time.
All right. And then Cedric Mullins joins Team USA to round out the outfield. Is this good or bad for Team USA?
I think it's great. Cedric Mullins is quick. He's a great leadoff bat. Could definitely help.
Great for my boys in the red, white, and blue.
Of course.
All right. Now we got Nick Saban has an 8-year extension with Alabama with a $93.6 million contract. Does the dynasty for him continue?
I think it does. As long as he's there, I think Alabama's going to be good.
Yeah, whenever we discredit Nick Saban, he just comes back. He overtook Kirby Smart for the highest paying coach.
After 33 days.
After 33 days. So shout out to that used car.
Hey, that's called a callback. We led the show off with that callback.
So shout out to that used car salesman, Kirby Smart.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
And now, Ronnie James is eyeing a visit to Ohio State during the Notre Dame game. Does Ohio State have a chance of getting right?
I really do. Since Coach K retired, that's who LeBron always wanted to play for. If he was going to go to college, that's what he said. So, and he loves him for Team USA. I think that since he's retired, it definitely is kind of an open field. I think Ohio State has a chance. Go back home right now.
I think Ohio State has the best chance of any other school, if not the best chance. So, sure, yeah, he has a chance.
I think so too. Especially, I mean, did we make it?
Perfect, on time.
All right, perfect. Even better.
2 minutes exact.
Just kind of to wrap that thought up, I mean, obviously if Kansas, a blue blood offers him, I think Bronny might take it. But,
yeah, I could see him not going to Ohio State. I think Ohio State has the best, if not one of the best odds to land Bronny.
I think so too. Hometown team kind of thing. Hometown, you're going to get a lot of love from him.
There's his
and also
dad
they're already
so much
they're
money
already
to the
like
basketball
sponsored.
program.
They're already sponsored kind of by LeBron James. So I definitely think there's a good chance for him. So I hope he comes. It'd be cool, especially if LeBron makes an appearance every now and again. That'd be dope.
I mean, I don't really care about it. I care more about Ohio State's success than LeBron showing up to our basketball games. But
no, I'm just saying it'd be cool to see Bronny play and then be like, oh fuck, hey, LeBron's here. That's kind of dope.
I mean, he'll maybe for the Big Ten ACC challenge. That's about the only.
That's
game.
about it.
I don't even know if we're in Columbus this year. I think we're playing North Carolina again.
Yes. No, I think we played Duke.
Oh no, we're playing Duke again.
Somebody.
I think we played Duke. Because everybody's like, the last time we played Duke, this is what happened. I think I saw it on Twitter.
I don't think we played.
No, I think you're right. I think we're playing at Duke this year.
It says Duke versus Ohio State. UNC versus Indiana.
Yeah, we're playing Duke again.
But so that'll be kind of a cool thing to look at. But it'll be dope. Ryan, you got anything to say to the people before we let them go?
If anybody would like to plan an outing on Sunday, I need some people.
We need some people. This won't get posted until after that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. John, you got anything to say to people?
Shout out college football. I love you.
And it's coming back. And the last thing I will lead you with is John, Ryan, and I are in a fantasy football league this year. We will keep you updated with records and how all that shit's going to work out for us. So we'll keep you tapped into it, and we'll see who's doing better week by week. But that's all I got to say to you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and on YouTube as well. Subscribe, like, share with anybody and everybody. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Peace.